Do you think you can't patent something just because you've already seen one in the marketplace? Well, then you haven't seen this. It's Don Skaggs again with Empowered Inventing TV, where we try to help you help other people by taking your great innovation, the right opportunity, mixing that with sound wisdom so you can turn them into real things like products and businesses that actually make money. And those people that you help, they say thank you. Please let us continue to give you the opportunity to continue to help us by sending you certificates of appreciation called dollar bills. That's how it works, boys and girls. Now, today, a lot of times I'll talk to inventors that will say to me, Don, I kind of have this great idea, but I looked out there and there was kind of something like it out there already. And it reminds me, when I hear that question, it reminds me of a conversation I had with somebody, and of all places in Sunday school one morning, and there was a coffee cup sitting on the table, one of those to-go coffee cups with the lids, kind of like this one, not this one, but kind of like this one. And he was talking about, I wonder what all out there is patented, can be patented, and is a new idea. And I looked down, and he even pointed to the coffee cup lid, and he said, like this coffee cup lid, he said, did somebody patent that? Did somebody come up with that? Was that an idea somebody had? And I happened to look down at him. He had not noticed this at this point. And I saw printed, embossed, it's not on this one, but it was on that original one. I wish I could find one like it now. But embossed on the top of that lid, it said patent number, and it had the patent number on it. So, that totally just blew me away to see that. So I kind of pointed at it and I said, if you look right here, you'll happen to notice that there is a patent number on this coffee cup. Something as simple as a to-go coffee cup lid has a patent. And I'm sure there's lots of patents for, probably including this one, although it doesn't have the number on it. It doesn't have to have a number on it. But you see what I'm saying. There's probably more than one coffee cup lid that's been patented, just like there's all kinds of different designs. There's probably some design patents, shape, and then there's probably some that are actual functional. I've seen some with real complicated with little hinges for a little stopper that kind of went in the little hole to keep it from spilling. All those kinds of different things. But when I pointed that out, that there was actually a patent number, I think kind of amazed him too to see that, just like it did me. But there's more things that you can patent out there than you realize. And if you know me and you've seen these videos, patenting is not the thing necessarily. It's one of those strategic things that you do, and it's a small part of a much larger whole if you want to come up with a really good idea for a product or a business that's going to make money, just like always say in the beginning of these videos. So, if you've ever had an idea though, and you said, well, I couldn't really do anything with that, I couldn't patent it, I couldn't turn it into a product. It looks like this one might have already been done. Well, think again, because there are more things out there that are patented, and there's more things out there that have been created. And think of it. Take a step back for a second and think about this. I always thought this was just an amazing concept. Everything. Look around your world today, and everything that is man-made, every single object that is man-made was once only an idea in someone's head. That kind of blows me away to really kind of think about that. And it's getting a little deep, but I just thought I'd mention that at this point, because that really is something significant. And that being said, maybe you think you can't turn an idea into a product or a business. Well, I want you to keep these things in mind, because a lot of people will make an excuse for not moving on their idea. And actually, I've got 7 excuses here, and that I want to talk about. So keep these things in mind. Excuse number 1 is that, well, it's already been done. It's already out there. It's kind of like the guy with the coffee cup lid. Well, I guess, somebody's already thought of this. Do you know how many different variations? Have you ever got a lot of different coffee to-go cups? And have you seen about all the different shapes, sizes, and everything that they have for this? And some work really well, some maybe not so well. But as a good example of this, Steve Jobs took what was known before there was ever an iPod as a clunky MP3 player that was hard to use. You almost had to kind of be a geek or electronics nerd almost to know, or a computer nerd to know how to use one very well. They weren't they weren't very popular, as popular as the iPod was. So he took this clunky technology that really wasn't catching on all that well, MP3 players, because they were out there, and he turned it into the iPod, which took off and revolutionized digital music forever. Why? Because he didn't look at the MP3 players and say, well, it's already been done. No, he said, I know ways to do it better. And, that was done with a lot of things with Apple, I'm sure. You can always improve something, and when you improve something, that's going to make it new, and that's going to make it novel. Excuse number 2, well, if it was a good idea, don't you think somebody else would have done it already? Those words were exactly the words that was told to Sarah Blakely. Now, if you're not familiar with the name Sarah Blakely owns a company called Spanx, S-P-A-N-X, I think it's spelled. And it's a ladies' undergarment. She was the inventor of this product, this Spanx product. And her friends and her family said, Sarah, don't you think if this was a good idea that somebody would have done it already? Well, she didn't listen to that. And guess what? She was the first, one of the first women inventor entrepreneurs that is now worth over $1 billion, with a B, $1 billion. I think it can be done. Don't think that, and don't listen to those naysayers that say that, and I want to get to that too in a minute. Excuse number 3, other people do those sorts of things, but not me. I'm really not qualified. Don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something. And if you don't know something, you can learn it. And if you need a certain level of expertise, guess what? You can rent it. There are other people out there with expertise, and you can get them to join your team. There's lots of different ways, but don't let somebody tell you, and don't tell yourself, you can make your invention and prove them wrong. And you can do that. Excuse number 4. It just costs too much. You need to start with $1 million or something to do this. I don't have, I can't do that. Well, number 1 is you don't have to have, and by the way, you shouldn't. I just did another video about this. You shouldn't spend a lot of money early on your idea for a product or a business. You just need to learn a lean strategy. We teach those lean strategies, by the way, and I'm a big proponent of those. You're going to make your most mistakes early, and you want those mistakes to be cheap, and the way to keep them cheap is not to start out with a lot of money. So actually, you may have an advantage not having a lot of money starting out. I've seen things crash and burn because they just poured all their money early on and made all their mistakes as expensive as humanly possible. So you don't spend a lot of money. And don't think that, I'm a big proponent of bootstrapping. You can have two nickels to rub together and start something. Trust me. I've seen it done. I've done it myself. Excuse number 5. Yeah, I failed before at something, Don. I don't want to fail again. Stop looking at it that way. You plan your risks. So when you fail, not if you fail, but when you fail, because you're going to have fails in the beginning. You're going to make your most mistakes early on. But if you keep them small, if you plan for them to be small, take small risks, make them small failures, make them survivable failures. Always ask yourself one question when you're going to take a risk. Will this kill us? Will this destroy everything we're trying to do? If the answer is yes, probably ought not to do it. If the answer is no, don't ever get to one of those points where you say, well, if this doesn't work, we're ruined. No, don't do that. But, make these survivable, teachable moments. These are going to be valuable tutors for you to teach you for later on when you're working through the process. Excuse number 6. Other people are going to look at me and like I'm a crazy inventor, or they're going to ridicule me if I, or maybe ridicule me behind my back. Always people are always worried about that. If it doesn't work out, or if it doesn't work out exactly how I'm thinking it will. Don't value your progress on what other people think or what other people say. That will destroy you quicker than anything. Place your goals, instead, value your progress on the goals that you set for yourself. Your own goals, and make that the center, not what other people. What other people, that's in the periphery. And most of those people that are going to say bad things, they can't do it themselves, therefore they think you can't do it. Don't listen to that kind of garbage. Okay, last but not least, excuse number 7, I don't know what to do, so therefore I'm going to do nothing. Hang around good people, competent people, people that are like-minded. Get the right kind of people. Inventor groups, again, are great for this. Again, I said this in another video recently. Find good content. Subscribe to this channel, of course. I would highly recommend that. We try to provide a lot of good content here. We have some good education programs. Nice segue to the Empowered Inventing Academy. We have courses that you can take online at your own pace at empoweredinventing.com. Hang around people that are going to lift you up and not pull you down. Now, not lift you up with a bunch of fluff, but again, good content, good, don't go this way, go that way, because this way, we've seen it, it's proven that it works. I want to throw in one more excuse, a number 8 here, kind of as a bonus one, and that's people that think that they're too busy. And to those people that think, well, I'm just too busy, I want you to consider one thing, and that is that think about your priorities. Your priorities, what do you really value? Do you really, really, really want to make something out of this idea for product or business? Or is it just a passing fancy? It's kind of those, well, isn't that interesting? Or is it, no, I want to change my life, my revenue, my legacy, my family's future history. I want to change all of that with this. If you really want to do that, and that really is a but you're not willing, you're saying I'm too busy with these other small, more insignificant things, then you're going to be frustrated at the end. So don't do that. So let me throw out a question. What excuse is holding you back? What are you going to do to overcome that excuse? Were any of these helpful? Let me know in the comments. Again, I'm Don Skaggs. This is Empowered Inventing TV. Like, subscribe, help us to build our tribe. And I will look to see you at the next meeting, workshop, online course, or on the next video.